Basecamp, Evernote, OneNote. What do they have in common? They all suck. No, not seriously. That was a little rude. Being minorly sarcastic. But I actually have a problem with analog kind of things being used in a digital plane. So I used Basecamp at my job for a couple months, and it was a disaster. Nobody liked it. The person who implemented it ended up not doing anything to help it be implemented, and it ended up just causing more problems than good. I made a GTD system within Basecamp, and it had no sorting, it had no filtering, it had no real archive capability outside of what I ended up having to invent with naming conventions and with standard operating procedures that weren't implemented by people in the company because the friction was too high. Evernote. Why is this thing basically dead? Because it costs a bunch of money to basically have an analog solution, and everything is just walked past it in terms of functionality. I would argue the difference between OneNote is at least it's pretty much free, and that it actually probably is more user-friendly to a lot of people than Evernote. Somehow Microsoft To Do and OneNote is a better combination than Evernote, which costs money. I don't really understand why Evernote makes plans that cost $8 a month or $10 a month or $15 a month when you can just have a Microsoft suite just give you pretty much everything for free, or even just have Notion and like Microsoft To Do or Todoist. I just have a problem with this because I am somebody who loves the ability to search for things, the ability to look through things. And yes, you can do that in Evernote. You can barely do it in Basecamp. I mean, you really can't Basecamp. Basecamp, just don't use that application. I will never recommend Basecamp to anybody. It is a complete waste. And I only say this because the other options outside of it are just better. And here's my main thing. I think if you're going to go more analog style, you should just do it analog because of the mental benefits that you get from writing things down from a remembrance standpoint. The only reason that I argue for digital products is because friction is lower on things like Todoist and TickTick and things than what it is on a notepad, because you have to carry the notepad with you, but you're already carrying this, so it's one thing versus two things. And your computer also has access to it, and the friction is extremely low to type something versus writing something oftentimes. Going for a low friction digital option is just as good because I don't need to remember it if it's always in my face that I need to do the thing. But the reason I like Notion and Coda and ClickUp is because it has databases, that has archive capability. You can sort it, you can group it, you can take all this page information and do different things with it. Yes, the basic analog systems of something like OneNote, you know what, fine, go with it. The friction's pretty low, it's a free product, but I have no good argument for paying for an analog option. And I know I'm getting pretty broad with the term analog here, but I hope you get my point that it's basically analog with emojis and a search bar. And then Basecamp just isn't. Even, I don't want to, like, you want to make an argument that it's awesome that it's $99 a month flat. You know, like, kudos to you for like doing bad math. But here's the thing, if you're on a team with like 5 people, this is garbage. Like, baseline team plans cost anywhere from, as the guy reviews productivity apps, I feel like I'm pretty informed on this, somewhere between $6 to like, I don't know, $30 a month per person. Even like on the $30 a month end, you know, if you have like a 3-person team, this is bad because 1, the functionality is bad, and 2, it costs more. For the average plan of something that's like $8 a month, for example, let's use Notion as like the middle ground here. Take $8 a month, multiply it by 12 people. You're still cheaper with Notion than with Basecamp, which has way less functionality. And then when it comes to this, it's $15 a month versus $8. I don't know how many people argue that Evernote is significantly better than Notion for teams, but I don't think it's a very large group of people. And even like Asana, which is one of the best options when it comes to business. I'm pretty sure the premium, $11 a month. So you get $11 a month versus $15 a month for Evernote for teams. I don't see it. Like the task management capabilities and hyperlinking to Google Sheets for free, or hyperlinking to a Notion space or something to that effect for documents is cheaper than Evernote. If a company is going to already have a Google My Workspace or a Microsoft Teams plan, this is just not worth it. I don't get how this is more expensive than Asana. It's irritating I don't mean to be too ranty. It's just a point that if you're using Basecamp or Asana or even OneNote, like maybe keep the OneNote because it's free, but like heavily consider getting away from analog options that somehow cost more than things with automations and good looking apps and sorting and just basic. Just don't get Basecamp. But do check out this video on how to improve your productivity even more.